All right, so we're going to go on with this whole thing about not praying about the Book of Mormon. It's pretty, I think it's funny that somebody would actually encourage people not to pray about things, because that's not what Jesus Christ taught, and that's not what the prophets teach in the Bible. This is the King James Version. All right, so here we go. Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 5, and just keep reading from there on. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear the Lord, and depart from evil. So, like, it's really interesting here, because here it says that God shall direct thy paths, not your own understanding or the understanding of man, but God. Because when it really comes down to it, God knows what is best.
And then he says, trust in the Lord and lean not unto thine own understanding.
Exactly.
And that Galatian crap that you just gave us was basically your own understanding, not something God would give you.
Yeah, so like, careful when you read the Bible. Like, you can't jump into conclusions. You have to look at the bigger picture here. Nowhere in the Bible does it say that you should not pray to God and ask for answers for things that is really important, especially when they have something to do with your own salvation. God will reveal those truths unto you if you are sincere.
And also, Jesus Christ said that ask and you shall receive, seek and you shall find, knock and it shall be open unto you. So was Jesus telling us that we shouldn't actually ask or we shouldn't seek or knock? He was saying exactly the contrary. And also in the 2 Timothy, Paul was telling Timothy about the fruits of apostasy. What kind of things happen when people apostatize from the truth? And one of them was ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. So ever learning. So there's lots of people who just read the Bible, they read stuff, but they're never able to come to the knowledge of the truth nevertheless.
Yeah, there is an ultimate truth. Like, you can't just keep on interpreting things here. You will come to an ultimate truth in the end when the Spirit like whispers it into your ears.
Yeah. So
keep that in mind. So like, this whole point was to basically show, like, it doesn't matter what you're going to pray about. Like, if your need to know the truth is sincere, then there's no reason why your Father in heaven wouldn't help you out finding out what's true. I would even, like, if you really felt like praying about the Quran, why not? Like, come on.
Yeah, there can be true points there as well.
Exactly. Like,
Jesus sometimes even quoted Greek poets and stuff. So, come on. If there's truth found somewhere else, obviously it's still true.
Yeah, and everything that is true is part of the gospel of Jesus Christ. Everything, because the gospel of Jesus Christ is all encompassing. It touches everything, every aspect of our lives. So don't forget that.
And also, when you said about James, when he said that if any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God. And you told that James was in the context talking about temptations and trials and stuff like that. So he wasn't talking about praying about a book. Well, that doesn't matter. He was asking, any of you lack wisdom, generally, ask God. Of course, the Christians were persecuted in those days, so of course he would use that theme, because everybody knew about that. They were able to apply it to their lives. But still, he doesn't say specific that it's only for one thing that you can ask God about. It's generally anything you need wisdom with.
Yeah.
And wisdom means usually understanding heart, to understand something. Solomon asked wisdom from God, and he got it too.
Yeah.
So I guess if Solomon got wisdom from God, why couldn't we have?
Yeah, and back in the old days, like, the kings would seek the prophets for help when going to war. They were asking very practical advice when it came to warfare. So, like, I mean, whatever it is that you need to know, God is there to answer your questions if you're sincere and if you're living a life, like a Christian person ought to.
Yeah.
So, but basically, this is what we wanted to bring up.
Yeah, and we're told anyway that God is not a respecter of persons. So if the kings and other people can ask God for God's aid in their lives, why shouldn't we then? Why can we do the same thing?
Exactly. So, like, when it really comes, like, I don't know, don't pray to God and ask if things are true. That sounds like a very oppressive doctrine. It sounds like the kind of doctrine a person that doesn't want you to progress would use. Just trust in me, and, like, I'll tell you what to do. Don't worry about it. Just, And the last thing I really want to do is, like, like a lot of Christian people seem to consider the Bible to be the last authority on everything, which makes absolutely no sense, since the Bible's purpose is to direct people to God, who is the final word, the final authority on everything. The Bible isn't a God. The Bible is the tool to help us find God. So, it's better to just, look after the doctrine that teaches us how to know God personally. Stop worshiping the book.
Yeah.